Hello, beautiful friends. I am the organizer advisor, Dr. Lisa Winfield, here to help you enhance your happiness and transform your life. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a very important video. We're going to be talking about organizing all of our medications and vitamins and supplements, but not just our medications. We're going to be talking about medications for our pets and both prescription and over-the-counter medications. So I'm going to give you my best tips, tricks, advice, suggestions, and strategies on how to organize and safely store all of your medications and vitamins and supplements. So please go grab a hydration beverage, and we're going to have a sip and a sit while you watch this video on how to organize your medication. Get organized. Okay, so let's just talk about why it's important to organize our medications and then create a dedicated storage space that is safe for children and pets. Okay, so we have a plethora of vitamins and supplements that we have and possibly stored in multiple areas in our home. And this could create a dangerous situation for young children and pets if they accidentally ingest some of these medications. But it's also important for us so that we have the list of medications that we take so we can update and communicate with our healthcare provider. Also, we'll have a list for in the case that we get into an emergency situation and the first responders need to know the name of our doctor, our next of kin contact to contact somebody in the case of an emergency, and also the medications that we're taking so they don't give us any medications that could conflict with the medications that we are currently taking. Also, we need to create this storage device in a place that is not going to be accessible to young children and pets to keep them safe too. And we want to make sure that we have our updated prescriptions and a process for managing refills so that we don't ever end up without our medications. Now, let's get started on our organizational process. We have a few steps here. The first one, of course, is to gather. So we're going to pause this video and we're going to go gather all of our medications, all of our pet medications, all of our children's medications. And I'm going to suggest that you look in your car, in your purse, on top of your refrigerator, in your kitchen cabinets, in your bathroom cabinetry, and by your bedside table. These are the most likely places you're going to find some medication that might pose a risk to young children and pets. We're going to gather them all together. Okay, so now that we've gathered all of our medications, we're going to start the process of going through. Now, I have a plethora of medications here. I also have medications in here, and these are my pet medications. And if you notice that I like to store my medications and my pet medications in lockable boxes. Now, I like to have these located on in a shelf in the bathroom that is high away from children and pets. And then for my pet medications, I keep these up high as well in my pet area where the pet food is located in order to make sure that it is safe, that the pets don't get into them. Now, let's talk about how are we going to organize these. The first thing that we need to do is we need to kind of categorize and go through. So categorize for human medications, pet medications, and then we're going to go through them and we're going to look at the expiry dates. I'm going to tell you what to do if you have expired medications. But while we're going through the process of looking at the expiry dates, we want to create a medical card that houses all of the medications that we take. So you want to Write down the name of the medication, the dosage, and the frequency. I like to write down my doctor's name and contact number, or my healthcare provider, and then also an emergency contact number. This is in the case that you get into an accident and the first responders are going to have to look up who to call. They're going to have your doctor's name so they can notify your doctor. They're going to have your emergency contact name so they can notify someone in your family. But also they're going to have a list of all the medications that you are currently taking and the dosages, so that they know en route to the emergency facility whether or not it's going to be safe to give you particular medications in transit. Now, this little card I like to stick behind my driver's license, and I stick it in my wallet. This is a suggestion that every member of your household might want to have an emergency card in their wallet so that they have all of this information available to first responders. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we have a monthly reset, and I have a video posted, and it's in the reset playlist. But these are some steps that I take at the beginning of every month to prep for the incoming month. It's always good to be proactive instead of reactive. So what I like to do is I like to look at my medication and make sure that I don't need a refill. If I need a refill, I want to go ahead and call at the beginning of the month to make sure that I get that in a timely manner so that I don't run out of my medications. So that's another thing that you may want to incorporate into your management system, is that beginning of the month reset, part of which you'd be looking at medications. Also, you may want to, if you haven't had a recent physical or visit with your doctor, you may want to go ahead and make that appointment so that you can update with your doctor, have a conversation, talk to them about the current meds you're on and whether or not you still need to be on those medications, or update the formulas change that you might need to change to a different version of that medication. Okay, so now that we have all of our medications gathered and we're ready to start going through them, looking at the expiry dates. I'll tell you what to do with expired medications in just a minute, but there's a couple of things I want to point out. First of all, create a dedicated storage location and device. I like to have all of these in one location so that in the case I have to evacuate my home, I could just grab my medication box with my important document binder and my emergency kit on the way out the door, and then I have all my medications with me. Device that's lockable, and you want something that you can feel assured that your young children and pets are not going to be able to access. So consider that when you are creating your dedicated storage location. Now, here's a couple of tips from me. If you have like liquid medication, I suggest storing them in a zip top bag. The reason is because if that cap comes off, the bottle breaks, or there's leakage or spillage, it's not going to get all in the bottom of your box, which is going to be a total mess. It's also going to get onto the labels of all of your medications, and it's going to make some of those labels unreadable. So you may not even know what those medications are anymore. So this is just going to prevent a great big mess, and it's going to allow you to keep your medicine prescription labels intact and readable for you. Speaking of, if you have difficulty reading, you may want to put inside your storage device a pair of glasses so that you have them when you need them, or you may want to use a little magnifying glass. You can get these very inexpensively, and then you can put that with your medications in the case that you need a little extra support reading those labels, especially after they fade for a little. Also, if you have creams or powders, I suggest storing those in a zip top bag too. That way, if there's leakage, it's not going to get all over everything, and it's going to stay neat and tidy, and it's going to preserve your medication labels. Okay, so then as we go through the medications, we look at them, we check the expiration date. What if those medications are expired? Well, if they are expired, there's a few ways you can safely dispose of your expired medications. We don't put our medications in the toilet anymore. we have different ways, safer ways of disposing of medications, both prescription and over the counter. Number one, you can go to your pharmacy. Any big pharmacy chain is going to have a medication kiosk. And this is a disposal kiosk, so you can literally just put your medications right into that kiosk and the pharmacy will safely dispose of them. You can use a commercial dissolving liquid that you can buy at your pharmacy, and it is a container of liquid medications in there. Put the lid on, shake it up, and it is going to dissolve the medications, and then you can dispose of the whole bottle. And then lastly, and this is the least preferred method, if there is no other way for you to dispose of that medication safely, if you're going to throw them in the garbage, then you want to make sure that you put them with coffee grounds or cat litter, because that's going to make it unattractive to children, but it might still be accidentally ingested by wildlife. So that is the least preferred method, to throw them into your bulk garbage. You have really strong narcotic medication. You can also call your local law enforcement and see if they have an amnesty day where you're able to take those to the law enforcement office and they will safely dispose of them. But those are the methods that are going to fit whatever situation you feel is going to fit best with you. So those are my best suggestions and advice. Okay, now that we've gone through all of our prescription and over-the-counter medicines, now we're going to talk about our vitamins and supplements. It's really important that you communicate with your healthcare provider if you take vitamins and supplements in addition to your medications, because some vitamins and supplements can contradict the medicines that you're taking. So it's a great conversation to have with your healthcare provider if you're taking vitamins and supplements. Now, if you have a variety of vitamins and supplements, we're going to go through the same process. We're going to gather them all together, if you haven't already, and then we're going to check the expiry date. You want to look and make sure that those vitamins and supplements are still safe to ingest. And then you're going to go through them, and the ones that have expired, you're going to dispose of the same way that you dispose of your prescription meds or over-the-counter meds. Now, when we have a plethora of vitamins and supplements and we want to incorporate them into our daily health and beauty routines, we want to save a little time, because these can be very time consuming. If you take a lot to open all of those jars, all of the bottles, you want to have a organization system to save yourself some time. So what I like to do is I like to get just a pill organizer, and I like to just do a daily where I can, at the beginning of each week on our Sunday prep steps, I go ahead and take my medications, vitamins and supplements, and I divide them into the days. So that way each day of the week I can just pull out what vitamins and supplements I need to take, and then I have them ready. You have supplement powders. You can use little cups with lids, and you can dish those out. You can put them into zip top bags, but do that when you're doing your Sunday prep step. If you intended to take them and it's safe for you to take them and you want to take them, maybe devising a system for taking them is going to bridge that gap so that you're able to remember to take them to help your health and happiness and well-being. Let's move on to pet medications. Now, again, I like a device that is lockable. This is one of those little plastic see-through boxes. Another thing is to get your little magnifying glass, and you can put that right in the case if you need to, so that you can read those labels, or put a pair of glasses in there so that you have them when you need them. That way you don't open the box and say, oh, I can't read the label. Now I got to stop what I'm doing and go find a pair of glasses. Another thing that I like to do is, with my pet meds, I like to put them in a zip top bag. I like to write the name of the medication and what it's for. Again, my pets don't take the medication all the time, so I want to make sure I'm administering the right meds, and it just saves me time instead of having to read a faded label on a bottle or trying to find a magnifying glass or my glasses to be able to know what exactly that is. That way, if the label fades over time, I have that written down so I know which medication to give to which animal for what circumstance. Okay, so again, we're going to go through these and dispose of them the same way we did with the human medicines, the prescription and over-the-counter, or the vitamins and supplements. A couple of other things, just general. If you want to use your smartphone to photograph your medications to communicate with your doctor, that's a great way to remember what medications you take, the dosage, prescription number in the case that you need to call for that refill, that you want to have your poison control center number located wherever you store all of your vitamins, supplements, and prescription and over-the-counter medications in the case there is an accidental ingestion. Now I'm going to read that number out and put it on the screen for you here. But I strongly suggest that you write that number down and put it inside where the medicine device that you store your medicines in. The poison control number is 1-800-222-1222. It's on the screen, so check that out. So those are my best tips, tricks, strategies, and suggestions on how to organize all of your prescription, over-the-counter, pet meds, vitamins, and supplements. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button or follow me on Facebook. Hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm going to post new content. And then also leave me a comment or like this video, because that helps my videos reach more people through the algorithms of all the 2 social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube. But if you found this helpful, somebody else may as well. All right, my friends, just one more gentle reminder to take time for self-care. Remember that self-care is healthcare. All right, my friends, you enjoyed this. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video, and until then, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.
I can see the stars align, dance around the moon every night, and now my eyes are open wide. And the sky has never looked so bright. Now I don't need to see the road to believe, yeah. 'Cause this is where I'm meant to be, I believe. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic